All right. So right here, finals for the state championships on Kansas.
Good KS.
Yeah, blue
Uh,
blue protective Ginyu versus blue protective cell. I won the coin flip, and that's a
drop
nice.
VTP, Power Mimic, and Positioning Drill, because that's not a good start or anything.
I was actually quite worried. I was like, if Cell walks in, I don't have anything to VTP, and there's no promise I'll get a decent draw. I have nothing in my hand. There's no telling what will happen.
That's
So
true.
I
And
was
that level
iffy.
1 power is oddly frightening. You wouldn't.
It's masteryable if he attacks while I'm only at 7 above.
Yeah, it is. But
But
it's
passes, drops the neck beam and the leverage, rejuvenates the leverage. I get that biting drill, which will, biting drill. It
Yeah.
just deals damage.
it's so good, especially with that Power Mimic. That's an automatic threat, just waiting to happen at the right time.
Yeah, not to mention if I start to lower his anger little by little, he'll start to mill and just suddenly he'll lose everything.
Absolutely.
It happened in my previous match, actually. So, yeah, it's good news.
And you rejuvenate what looks like a sinister choke, and you drop the lifting drill.
Lifting drill just makes everything so much harder for him now.
That's a perfect scenario for you early game. I mean, he's got to be staring at that board. And just,
lifting, biting.
oh yeah.
I dropped the slash, rejuvenated it, and kept the wrist block in my discard.
Wrist block is just amazing. It's one of the best blue blocks out there.
Say what up to everybody.
Of course. Absolutely. So, I mean, this Protective Cell is a very interesting deck. It's a very interesting build. It's not something you see a whole lot of.
He walks, I VTP'd for my block just in case.
Just in case. And ooh, I see a mental drill, and is that a choke in your hand?
That is absolutely a choke in my hand.
Oh man, this is not looking good for him.
I was talking to Chad about his build, and it didn't sound like he picked his up from Tim, but I don't know. He didn't really say he did, but he didn't say he didn't either.
Gotcha.
You know.
So he leads off with Cell's Power, which puts you in perfect ally range.
Yep, I took the damage, put me at 5 above. I used cells to put me at 2 above.
And then you grab Birder.
I grabbed Birder because nothing better than hitting for 4 stages, 4 life, 5 life, but I only hit 4 this because I forget about my lifting drill for about, 4 or 5 attacks.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
Gemma the misplays.
It is the only misplay I have in this game.
Oh, in this one. We're not going to talk about the other ones, though. Just this one. Shh. It's okay. It's okay.
No, round 3 I got, I didn't.
It's okay, Tim. I still love you. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
It was sequencing. I screwed up my sequencing that I had planned out meticulously and just screwed it all up because I just forgot.
Hashtag watch the video. All right, so it looks like he takes that damage.
Yes, sir. And he hits a neck beam and a sinister, so it wasn't light.
Right, and he pays an overpowering attack. Interesting that he's running allies with Cell. I mean, you do see it with, Turles and Nappa, which he goes to get Nappa, of course. I think he just wanted to shut off the Power Mimic. I can think of no other reason for Nappa to hit the table.
Yeah, that's what I assumed as well. I figured he'd go for Ginyu, honestly.
Ginyu Ally is amazing in Cell.
Right, and having Nappa out, if he does suddenly start hitting those blue dominances, he could screw himself up.
Absolutely.
I meant to stop,
All
and
right,
I make a mill, and I hit that Cell's draining.
This is just not looking good for him.
No, so far it's just a string of bad luck.
And there's the choke, which he should mastery to stop that, which he does. Optic Blast.
The right play for him, and that was probably the right play in this case, but going forward, because of my lifting drill, he'd probably be better off mastery and raising his own anger.
Just to get off that level 1?
No, just to get off the 0 anger with biting drill.
Oh yeah, of course.
He sells styles. He knows I have no styled attack in my deck. Or named attack, I should say. But look through the deck, make me shuffle, and then mill 3.
Well, any good player will always check their opponent's deck at every opportunity. And that is one unfortunate thing about Ginyu players in like 20, is if you pay to search and you fail to search, your opponent gets to look at your deck.
Yeah, it's you gotta know what you're doing. That's why most will pay with 20 to hurt the opponent, but still refuse to. Oh hey, look, I had another choke in my hand. Oof. 1,
Double
2,
chokes.
4, 5. So I've hit stare down, 2 chokes, and both of his soul drainings during the discard.
And he didn't take the stages off that hit.
He took it off of Nappa.
Oh, he did take it off of Nappa.
He knew it was gonna crit, so he took the damage off of Nappa instead.
Which is smart. He did it so smoothly and fluidly. Oh, and dropping the mental drill. He's holding the dig.
He knew I had to stop, so I didn't want to waste it. I moved Power Mimic over. I didn't activate it, so I could move my allies.
Mental drill is one of the best drills printed, in my opinion. It's right up there with smoothness drill.
I passed Rejuve the Biting Drill. Obviously didn't need it. Look at that ultra rare hand.
That is super ultra rare.
That's a handful of ultra rare, dude.
Yeah, he plays the. I knew he was going to play the Visage, but he played the Defiant Challenge, so I was like, no, I'll put this back in your hand. Right here.
There's so much shine coming off the hand. He couldn't see what card he was actually playing.
Yeah, it's pure ultra rare. 3 ultra rares and one ultra rare promo. It was just. It was so hard to look at. I almost wanted to let him keep it.
Almost.
Almost.
All right, so it looks like you're walking in.
Yes, sir. I walk in and I play.
Stare down on the trail.
He walks in, stare down, and he has to deal with another stare down.
Oh man.
Do now.
Double stare down. That always hurts. It's the next best thing to a sphere. It's your best attack and your best block all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Got that phrase from our lovely buddy Hugo.
To a degree. Sometimes you just want to push out actual damage.
Yeah, of course.
Ginyu. And of course, because he's got Visage on the field, the only applicable play here is
Nappa.
Go get my scout for Nappa.
Absolutely.
Nappa can't function without his scouter.
Yeah.
4 stages. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't tell if I had counted the lifting because the endurance on that would have been 5.
Fair enough.
Not sure where I'm standing on that.
But if I'm not mistaken, you do realize at some point that you haven't been counting the lifting drill.
I believe right here with Jace, so he took 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no.
Yes.
The next attack, I believe.
The next attack, it should be.
Next combat.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. And he. All right.
He gets rid of his Blue Clash, I believe is the name. And I discard my takedown.
Yes, that is Blue Clash. All right, it goes to him. And we see a VTP. He plays a Dominance, keeps the Terror, and Rejuvenate. Oh, not rejuvenating yet.
I took a hold of his discard pile to take a look at what he could fetch with Terror.
And Rejuvenated Guard, I assume. Yep, there
Yes.
it goes.
So 1, 2, 3.
And I see you pull a Terror.
Yeah, it's just anytime he got the advantage, so far as it looks like, I just kind of matched it.
Good draws on your side.
Mm-hmm. That's
The
what
game is definitely going the way you would want it to for the flow. Ooh, and a sphere.
I loved seeing that sphere in his hand.
For any particular reason?
I made a post on Retro about how it was beautiful, making my opponent hold on to the sphere.
Oh, yes.
Defense in my deck.
Well, that would make sense. He might be expecting like a body switch or something like that coming off of you.
Could be, but I mean, with that board, I'd be a fool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Take a look at the bottom for the decision making. Goldo or Rukun or Frieza.
None of them are a bad call. And he's got a fairly defensive hand.
Yeah, and I know that Terra can go fetch time if he's too terribly worried.
Goldo's not a bad call.
No, not at all.
Well,
he stops with guard.
Yeah, and he's completely reactionary based on your ally selection. If you get Frieza, then he's absolutely gonna Terror for time. If you get Goldo, he'll probably.
Oops. He stopped. I forgot to lower his angle by 1.
Oops.
That is the only time I forgot to lower his anger and mill him. Because I made certain I just kept chipping away at his deck.
Fighting, lifting, it's a thing.
It happens, though. I'm too intent on what I'm doing to I guess I need to slow down just a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's super critical. I outplay myself too, and I'll get ahead of myself. And it's super important when your brain is really trucking that you need to just kind of step back and breathe for a minute.
I mastered. Put takedown back on top of my life deck.
A highly underrated card if there ever was one.
Yes.
Yes, that is takedown.
Well, I mean, I couldn't remember if I switched out or not. He's got time. He's got arm blast. Dev blow. Raise my anger by 1. Lowers anger by 2. He mills 1 for the anger lowering.
Of course. And then you get to banish.
Yeah.
I know that you've been a fan of Dev blow for a very, very long time. I am too, but for some reason it just doesn't seem to make it into my decks as much lately.
I tend to play decks that maximize Dev blow as opposed to I need the banishment, so I'll go get pulverized. I maximize every effective dev blow.
Absolutely.
He stops it, and
did not mill.
Guess not. Oops, he passed, and this is when I stopped being an idiot.
So you terror.
Come on, what do I get?
I'm not sure. I mean, head knock might not be a bad call.
Dev blow. He times. Lowers anger by 1, destroy the top card. Ooh, look at that 3-card swing.
All off of a
One
beautiful
little
board setup. So, how many dev blow do you typically run? 2? 2 seems like a good number.
2 is a very good number. I run 2 in my Namekian because I can keep recurring them, and I run 2 in here because I got a lot of, I want to say, anger lowering, and just being able to push it out. I was explaining to a bystander how the overwhelming power got milled before I met, and another one gets milled.
There it goes.
So there goes both of his overwhelming powers, which one of them is banished because of my dev blow. And I use Jace, and he mills another one.
And pass goes to him.
Sir, not a bad hand, but honestly, it's not something he wants to walk in with.
Well, depending on the situation. Where he's at now, no, absolutely not.
Honestly, something he doesn't want to walk in with. So he powers up 2. He's just thinking, I know he's just thinking to himself, if only I had that visiting active, or that dominance active.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would be completely different.
He rejuvenates the mill 3. I get the power up going on.
This is a very interesting match. I mean, his deck is effectively shut down, so we can't see how it's intended to function. Blue's never been a really chainy style, Ooh, double sphere and a Ginyu ally with a leverage. That's that's definitely a passing hand.
Yeah. He sees my slash, says, "Yeah, that's enough of the spheres."
Yeah.
My hand, the reason I didn't enter, I believe it was a very defensive hand, and I rejuvenated the Endurance 3 energy block. It's called, I can't remember what it's called.
Narrow escape.
That's the one, Narrow Escape.
You call yourself a blue player.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. It's okay. So
Right here, I was calculating out why Blue Slash was so good. He's a wheeler player, so he knows it's really good.
of course.
But I was calculating out how much I could do in stack with it, and I was saying about 12. That's what all that pointing was.
I got you.
I'm pretty sure I calculated wrong. I can get about 13 or 14 damage with just Blue Slash.
Impressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, stars got to align. You got to make sure
Ooh, that's quite a hand he's got there. Choke, Defiant, and 2 leverages. I would definitely enter on that hand if I were him.
Yeah, that choke I wasn't a fan of. Not in the slightest.
That looks like it's gonna hurt.
All right, well, he's thinking, he enters. I get my own choke and a takedown. He starts with the choke. I got no choice.
7 banished. Banished.
It's 5, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
This isn't Android 20.
I'm used to that.
Yeah.
All that's banished though, unfortunately.
I actually put Nappa
In the banished zone, I see that.
I'm an idiot. But I do fix that here in a second. I'm used to banishing my allies because people betray them and they don't usually crit them.
That seems fairly typical.
It's very typical.
Seems like he's asking for deck count.
Actually, I said I believe it's my 19 or 10, if my count was right, and he said he had 11. I think I said, yeah, I still have 19. So,
Okay.
I take a look at everything, go fetch.
Ginyu for Frieza?
I want to say he's the only one left. Yeah.
Yep, there's Frieza. He comes into play.
4 stages. I should have activated Power Mimic, but 4 stages and 5 life.
He can't. Well, he can mastery to stop it.
Nappa back. Well, I can activate the Power Mimic for the rest of my attacks.
Oh, of course.
I kind of wish I did, just for the win more capability. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And all 5, all banished.
Yes, sir. He activates Visage. I mill 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ran through that endurance, though. Oh.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, very. He's got 4 cards?
Yeah, 3 or 4. It's hard to tell with the sleeves being so dark. This game is all but over. I mean, you've still got Jace on board. You've still got Raccoon on board.
Right.
You still got the choke in your hand.
Question is, what do I start with? Start takedown. I think he has 5 cards. Lowers anger by 1. He mills.
Yep.
Puts him at. He leverages. Put that down.
That's painful.
Stops it. I lower his anger by 1. I was reminding him that he lowered it by 1 for the biting, and then now he's lowering it for the lifting back to the biting.
Yep.
Puts him at 3. He's got no actions to make.
And he scoops. That's unfortunate. The stars did not align in his favor. They definitely were. They definitely were for you that game with that board setup so early, milling those draining attacks, milling those overwhelming powers. There's no.
Defiant challenges. Game 2 starts. Let me